Here are the top stories for today, December 11, 2019. Manila Water and Maynilad decide not to collect compensation from the government. It's concession deals. Malacanang says President Duterte will not extend martial law in Mindanao for the fourth time. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar vows a complete live coverage of the Ampatuan massacre case ruling. And the Philippine delegation bags its second overall championship title in the Southeast Asian Games. Good day, I'm Rom Dulfo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story, water concessionaires Manila Water and Maynilad on Tuesday said they would no longer ask the government to pay them more than 10 billion pesos arising from their arbitral tribunal win. Manila Water President and CEO Jose Almendra said during a hearing at the House of Representatives that the company will no longer collect the 7.4 billion peso arbitral award. Manila President and CEO Ramoncito Fernandez said in the same House hearing that the company will also no longer pursue its 3.4 billion peso arbitral award. President Rodrigo Duterte recently threatened to sue the two water concessionaires and former government officials because of their supposedly onerous agreements with the government. President Duterte on Tuesday said he will expropriate the operation of water facilities if he is not satisfied with the explanation of water concessionaires and government lawyers on the supposed onerous water concession agreements. More on this from Janice Cave.
In a speech in Malacanang, Duterte said if water concessionaire owners and government lawyers refuse to face him to explain how they crafted the water concession deal, he would make them do so by force.
Kaya hindi ko talaga malaman kung paano ko bibirahin to. Because I want everybody, yung mga abogado dyan noon, kung ayaw nilang pumunta dito, edi I will drag them. Then if you will force my hand, I will throw my last card. Ayaw ninyo? O sige. Gusto ninyo daanin sa... Then I will suspend the state of habeas corpus at hilain kayo.
He earlier threatened to sue Manila Water Company and Maynilad Water Services for economic sabotage over certain irregularities on water deals. If he would not be satisfied with their explanation, the president said he would expropriate the operations of these water facilities.
Pag hindi ako ma-satisfy, I will expropriate everything. Kunin ko lahat.
Meanwhile, Duterte called on military and police personnel anew to run after corrupt practices, including the water concession deal if he fails to finish the end of his term in 2022.
Huwag ninyong bitawan to. I'm not saying you initiate something like kudeta. Huwag, kasi hindi niya tanggap ng Pilipinas. If you want an outright, huwag martial law. Mag-revolutionary government ka na lang. Diretso na. Tapos start to correct everything.
In October, Duterte said he could use extraordinary powers of the presidency, take over water operations should the looming water crisis turn into a national emergency. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo pointed out that any situation arising that will endanger and peril the safety of the people could allow the president to take over. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Malacanang has announced that there will be no fourth extension of martial law in Mindanao. This as President Duterte heeded the military ground commanders and Philippine security officials' recommendation following the drop in crime incidents in the southern Philippines. The siege laid by the Islamic State-inspired Maute group on May 23, 2017 prompted President Duterte to place the whole of Mindanao under martial law. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and National Security Advisor Jimenez Esperon Jr. earlier expressed opposition to any proposal to extend the military rule in Mindanao. Esperon stressed that there was no need to further extend martial law in Mindanao if the Congress is able to pass a measure that amends Republic Act 9372 or the Human Security Act of 2007.
The Office of the President wishes to announce that President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is not extending martial law. It will expire on December 31st, 2019. The people of Mindanao rest assured that any incipient major threat in Mindanao will be nipped in the bud, even without martial law.
Meanwhile, the League of Parents of the Philippines, or LPP, on Tuesday protested anew in front of the Dutch Embassy in Makati City to show their dissatisfaction with the outcome of their meeting to bring back CPP founder Jose Maria or Joma Sison to the Philippines. Last December 5, members of the LPP, together with Dutch Embassy Councilor and Deputy Head of Mission Peter Terpstra, Internal Affairs Department Head Peter Trim, and Senior Political Officer Jamie Ann Reyes held an exploratory meeting in the Dutch official's office in Paseo de Rojas, Makati City to discuss the matter. LPP spokesperson Remy Rosadio said the group believes the embassy has the capacity to help them revoke the asylum privilege of Sison, who enjoys political asylum privilege in the Netherlands. However, the group was dismayed when the representatives of the Dutch embassy admitted that their hands are tied on the issue of sending back Joma Sison in the Philippines. LPP said they are starting to believe that the embassy has sympathies towards Sison. The group said it will continue to run their protests in front of the Dutch embassy's office until appropriate actions are performed. Caritas Manila seeks help for the restoration of churches in Mindanao, and authorities warn the public against the use of banned firecrackers. More on this from Bench Bondo.
Caritas Manila is urging the faithful to sponsor Simbang Gabi masses to help fix churches in Cotabato that were damaged by recent earthquakes. Some of the damaged churches are the Santo Niño de Cebu Parish Makilala, San Isidro Labrador Parish Rectory, Our Lady of Mediatrix of All Grace Cathedral Rectory, St. Joseph the Worker Parish, Holy Family Parish Bulacanon, and San Miguel Archangel Quasi Parish, among others. Anyone who would like to sponsor a Simbang Gabi Mass may call the donor care team at 8562-0020 local 25, 8563-9311 or 8564-0205, or via email donorcare@caritasmanila.org.ph. Meanwhile, the Department of Health is urging the public to make use of alternative ways to greet the new year instead of lighting firecrackers. The advocacy of the DOH is to engage in alternative methods of celebrating the new year, like the use of the torotot, musical instruments, coins, cooking utensils, and videoke. And ahead of the Christmas and New Year revelries, the Philippine National Police in Eastern Visayas also warned the public against the use of banned firecrackers to ensure safe celebrations. Prohibited firecrackers include piccolo, watusi, giant whistle bomb, giant bawang, large Judas belt, super lolo, lolo thunder, boga, goodbye Philippines, among others. Violators may be fined between 20 to 30,000 pesos and or face imprisonment for up to 1 year. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Still to come, PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar vows a complete live coverage of the Ampatuan massacre case ruling. The PNP in Northern Samar asks for funds to repair its police stations that were damaged by Typhoon Tisoy. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ulat sa ginagawa ng presidente.
November 25, Lunes. Nagpunta si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa Busan, South Korea para dumalo sa ASEAN Republic of Korea Commemorative Summit. Nag-courtesy call sa Pangulo ang ilang opisyal ng pangunahing business companies doon. Sinundan ito ng bilateral meeting ni na Pangulong Duterte at Republic of Korea President Moon Jae-in na layong patatagin pa ang ugnayan ng dalawang bansa.
The Philippines was the first among ASEAN countries to establish diplomatic relations with Korea and also the first to dispatch troops to fight on our side during the Korean War. I'd like to express my profound gratitude to the people of the Philippines for their lasting friendship over the past 70 years and to you, Mr. President, for your great affection for Korea. The Philippines is the future of ASEAN as it continues to achieve an impressive growth rate of 6% each year thanks to your outstanding leadership.
The past 7 years, decades have witnessed the level of our interaction rise. Our cooperation encompasses various spheres, from trade, investment, and order to infrastructure development, defense, science, technology, and agriculture.
Sinaksihan din ng dalawang lider ang pagpirma sa 5 kasunduan sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at South Korea. Kinagabihan ay dumalo si Pangulong Duterte at iba pang ASEAN leaders sa welcome dinner. November 26, Martes, Busan, South Korea. Dumalo si Pangulong Duterte kasama ang iba pang leader sa ASEAN Republic of Korea Commemorative Summit sa pangunguna ni President Moon Jae-in. Humanga ang mga leader na matunghayan ang mga kamangha-manghang produkto sa ASEAN ROK Innovative Showcase 2019.
State-run broadcast firm People's Television Network, or PTV, will have a complete, secure, and truthful coverage of the promulgation of the ruling on the 2009 Maguindanao massacre. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar gave the assurance after the Supreme Court announced that PTV will be providing a live feed from inside the Quezon City Regional Trial Court, Branch 221, on December 19, the day when the final verdict on the decade-long Maguindanao massacre case is expected to be out. SC spokesperson Brian Hosaka said the High Court allowed the PTV to provide technical support and make the footage available for hookup to other news firms. Only 2 cameras manned by PTV will be allowed inside the courtroom. These will be operated under the strict control and supervision by the SC Public Information Office. 1 camera will be directed at the judge and the person reading the decision, while another camera will focus on the parties and their counsel. Andanar assured the public that the PTV would do its best to ensure the successful coverage of the promulgation of the judgment on the Maguindanao massacre. Contrary to the supposed bad picture being painted by communist-linked groups, the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or NCIP, says the protection of indigenous peoples, or IPs, in the Philippines is alive and robust. NCIP Commissioner Norberto Navarro made the assertion in a meeting with European Union Parliament member Tom van der Risch on December 4. Navarro said the NCIP has titled 5.7 million hectares in the name of indigenous peoples as communal owned. He adds, IPs are widely represented in all levels of local government units, or LGUs, through their mandatory membership in legislative councils. He lamented that the issue of indigenous peoples has been carried by many organizations, some of which solicit support abroad while painting the country as lawless and oppressive of dissent. Navarro reiterates that IPs are vulnerable and easily manipulated, as evidenced by the alternative schools put up by communist-linked groups to train child warriors. With the closure of 52 Salugpungan schools early this year, Navarro said the NCIP is verifying reports that some communist-linked groups are funded by Belgian organizations. The Tourism Department welcomes the upward trend in Philippine international tourist arrivals, tallying over 6.8 million visitors for the first 10 months of the year. The country recorded 6.8 million visitors from January to October 2019, equivalent to a 15% increase from the same period last year. Korea still tops the list with 1.6 million arrivals. China comes in second with 1.5 million arrivals, followed by the USA at third place with over 872,000 for the 10-month period. Japan and Taiwan made it to the 4th and 5th on the list. DOT Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat attributed the increased tourism arrivals to the improved air connectivity, intensified promotions including the refreshed It's More Fun in the Philippines campaign, the budding relations with other countries, as well as the growing recognition of the country's sustainable tourism advocacy. The Philippine Army and the Philippine National Police in Caraga region commemorated the National Human Rights Consciousness Week on Tuesday in Butuan City. The Army and the Butuan City Police Office conducted a peace march and the concert at Gingona Park anchored on the theme Youth Standing Up for Human Rights. Major Francisco Garelio Jr., 402nd Brigade Civil Military Operations Officer, said the activity also marked the 71st year of the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Meanwhile, the Army's 3rd Special Forces Battalion celebrated Human Rights Day with Agusanon children in Barangay Noli, Bayugan City, Agusan del Sur. Colonel Alan D. Hambala, commander of the 401st Infantry Brigade, called on all sectors to support the whole-of-nation approach to end insurgency. The Commission on Human Rights, or CHR, also led a forum on climate justice also on Tuesday. The CHR activity was participated in by representatives from government line agencies, LGUs, non-government organizations, and private institutions. Clearing and rehabilitation efforts continue in parts of the country affected by Typhoon Tisoy, including 9 national roads that were impassable during the storm's onslaught. More on this from Joyce Gudis.
Clearing operations in roads affected by Typhoon Tisoy continue as damage to infrastructure has exceeded 2.7 billion pesos. The Department of Public Works and Highways said Tuesday that clearing operations are being done on the 9 remaining national roads that were impassable to all types of vehicles following the onslaught of the storm last week. The clearing operations are being conducted in Cordillera Administrative Region, Cagayan Valley, and Bicol. In Pangasinan, the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office has recorded no damage to agriculture and infrastructure following the onslaught of Typhoon Tisoy. The PDRRMO said the typhoon brought only little rain amid a storm signal number 2 raised in the province. It said the rains brought by Tisoy could be beneficial to the irrigation on the farmlands as they enter the cropping season for rice and corn. Meanwhile, the PNP Regional Office in Leyte is seeking financial assistance to repair 15 police station buildings in northern Samar damaged by the typhoon last week. Brigadier General Ariel Arcinas, PNP Eastern Visayas Deputy Regional Director for Administration, said Tuesday the damaged police stations need at least 1 million pesos for its repair. Damaged police stations are in Allen, San Isidro, Victoria, Mondragon, Rosario, Pambuhan, San Jose, Gamay, San Roque, Mapanas, Bobon, Biri, Las Navas, 1st Mobile Force Company, and provincial headquarters. The Northern Samar Provincial Board placed the province under state of calamity on December 5. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Cudis.
Up next, the Philippine delegation bags its 2nd overall championship title in the Southeast Asian Games, and the DTI distributes more livelihoods kits to the displaced residents in Marawi City. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
November 28, Huwebes, Malacanang. Pinangunahan ni Pangulong Duterte ang awarding ceremonies ng 2018 Presidential Award for Child-Friendly Municipalities and Cities at 2019 Model Overseas Filipino Worker Family of the Year Award. November 29, Biyernes. Mainit na tinanggap ni Pangulong Duterte sa palasyo ang candidates for military observer in various United Nations peacekeeping missions at ang mga delegado ng 5th ASEAN-Russia Youth Summit. Tinanggap din ng Pangulo ang sagisag ng Bayam 2019 sculpture mula sa renowned glass sculptor na si Ramon Orlin. November 30, Sabado, Bonifacio Monument, Caloocan City. Pinangunahan ni Pangulong Duterte ang paggunita sa kabayanihan ni Gat Andres Bonifacio sa selebrasyon ng kapanganakan ng tagapagtatag ng Katipunan. Malacanang. Mainit na tinanggap ng Pangulo si Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah ng Brunei Darussalam. Mas pinatatag ang ugnayan ng dalawang bansa sa pamagitan ng bilateral meeting na pinangunahan ng dalawang leader. Bukawe, Bulacan. Napaindak sa saya si Pangulong Duterte nang masaksiyan ang engranding opening ceremony ng 30th Southeast Asian Games na ginanap sa Philippine Arena. Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar at ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
Congratulations to our athletes. Team Philippines on Tuesday has formally clinched the 30th Southeast Asian Games Overall Championship. As of Wednesday morning, the Philippines has won 149 gold medals, 117 silver, and 120 bronze for a total of 386 medals. The country surpassed the 112 gold, 85 silver, and 92 bronze medals it won in the 2005 Manila meet. Philippine Sports Commission Chair Butch Ramirez described the feat as a sweet surprise, even as he said they have been hoping to dominate the SEA Games. The chef de mission of the Team Philippines said members of the triumphant team will go to Malacanang on December 18 to meet with President Duterte and to receive their incentives. The game's closing ceremony happens at the newly built New Clark City Athletic Stadium in Tarlac on Wednesday night. Still in sports, the World Anti-Doping Agency has stripped Russia of the right to participate in major international sports tournaments, including the Olympics and World Championships, for the period of 4 years. The WADA Executive Committee also ruled that Russia must not host or bid for or be granted in that period any major international sports tournament. The ban also covers Russian state officials as well as the officials of the Russian Olympic Committee and the Russian Paralympic Committee. The ban was enforced due to the Russian Anti-Doping Agency's failure to cooperate in investigations on the issue. Russia was declared non-compliant for manipulating laboratory data handed over to investigators in January 2019. It was meted a 3-year suspension for its vast state-sponsored doping scandal before being reinstated in 2018. The agency has the right to appeal WADA's ruling within 21 days. Meantime, athletes who can prove they are untainted by the doping scandal will be able to compete under a neutral flag. In our foreign news, 6 people were reported dead while an unconfirmed number of injured has been rescued in a volcanic eruption on New Zealand's White Island on Monday. Almost all patients who were injured in the deadly volcanic eruption suffered extensive burns to their bodies and lungs due to volcanic ash and gas. Back in the island, the New Zealand Defense Force has sent personnel as well as a P-3K2 Orion aircraft, 2 NH-90 helicopters, and a Navy ship to assist in the rescue operation. Media reports quoted New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern as saying that around 100 people were on or around the island at the time of the eruption, and some of those are unaccounted for. The Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, has distributed livelihood starter kits to more displaced residents in Marawi City. This as the DTI urged residents to avail of assistance from the government. More on this from Christine Lin Viajante.
The Department of Trade and Industry is on the fast lane in distributing various livelihood starter kits to internally displaced persons of Marawi City. To date, the DTI has distributed around 31,000 starter kits, which is 62% of the total target of 50,000.
Kits we started with our sewing machine. Nag-distribute po mi og bigasan. Naami karon at my back. You can see do natay karinderya og kanang diri nga portion nato is sewing machine. Onya, doon na po tayo kami nga i-loading o doon na po tayo mga sari-sari grocery items.
Beneficiaries of the starter kits expressed their gratitude to the agency for providing them assistance. Jamel Haji Ali of Lilod Gimba is grateful to have received a Carinderia starter kit as he could still continue his business before the siege happened.
Ako po'y nagpapasalamat po sa kanila dito sa DTI, lalo na yung mga staff, kasi hindi lang ako natutulungan nila, marami. Kaya salamat po kasi bumalik na sa akin yung hanap buhay ko.
Jamel also urged his fellow IDPs to utilize the kits for their recovery.
Yung sa mga IDPs, yung mga payo ko po sa mga IDPs, yung wag nilang baliwalayin kasi napakalaking tulong na po yun at saka yun pang nagsisimula ng hanap buhay mo.
Meanwhile, Amera Canapia of Caloocan East, recipient of DTI rice kit, plans to sell the added kit through her existing business.
Gusto po namin magpasalamat sa DTI kasi po malaking tulong na to para sa amin, tsaka pangkabuhayan din po ito. Magpasalamat talaga sa isa din sa Task Force Bangon Marawi para sa mga tulong na pinamimigay nila dito sa Marawi City.
Addressing to the IDPs who have not yet received any assistance from the department, the DTI encouraged them to visit and inquire at the distribution venue located at the old National Food Authority warehouse in Luxadato, Marawi City. Being the lead agency of the Subcommittee on Business and Livelihood of Task Force Bangon Marawi, the DTI is committed to assisting the IDPs to start anew through Livelihood Kit. The list of beneficiaries is cross-matched with the data consolidated through Catanor, the profiling of IDPs spearheaded by TFBM. For PNA Newsroom, Christine Lynn Viajante of the Philippine Information Agency.
Here's another look at today's biggest stories. Manila Water and Maynilad decide not to collect compensation from the government. It's concession deals. Malacanang says President Duterte will not extend martial law in Mindanao for the fourth time. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar vows a complete live coverage of the Ampatuan massacre case ruling. And the Philippine delegation bags its second overall championship title in the Southeast Asian Games. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, check our webpage or follow the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more news about the government, how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags on all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. The PNA Newsroom will present our Christmas special on December 24 and 25. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Rom Dufo. Good day.